Hello and welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join our webinar, Accelerate Your ETQ Reliance NXG Migration Journey. We are so glad you are here and hope that you leave the webinar today with all of your questions answered about migrating to ETQ Reliance NXG. Let's begin with a few housekeeping items. Please feel free to submit questions through the Q&A chat. We will have plenty of time at the end of the presentation to answer your questions. So let's begin with a few quick introductions. Joining us today is David Isaacson, Vice President of Product Marketing at ETQ, and Mahmoud Al-Kayat, Director of Technology and Cloud Services, also at ETQ. And joining David and Mahmoud is David Gurman, Vice President of Engineering Ops, also for ETQ. And I'm Jennifer Bianchini. I'm also on the product marketing team with David. Here's a quick look at our agenda, and David is going to start things off for us. So let's dive in, shall we?
Thanks everyone for joining us. I echo Jennifer's welcome. It's great to see everybody on the call this morning. We are really excited about where we are right now with the migration program. And so the question is, why now? And many of you know that we released ETQ Reliance NXG, the latest version of Reliance a couple years ago, 3 years ago. And when we did that announcement back in the day, we talked about migrating from your current 2020 or CG version to the NXG version. Part of what we did back then is we took a look at all of our customers and understood the complexity, tried to understand the complexity of your environments and figure out what it would take to get everybody to migrate. And we actually did a bunch of migrations. We took some of the most simple accounts, some simple systems, and we did that migration. So we learned a lot. We went through the process with several dozen customers, but we reached a point where we knew we needed to make some adjustments to the migration process. So we put it on hold. We took the time, we took a step back. We knew that a lot of customers were moving to later versions of ETQ Reliance CG. And so we wanted to get the tooling updated and a bit more stable for the new versions of Reliance. And also we kept bringing out new versions of NXG, ETQ Reliance NXG, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to take advantage of those latest versions. So we started the process. We did take a pause. We had a lot of communication with you at that time. We did take this pause to make sure that we wanted to get things right. We wanted to make sure that, and you'll hear Mahmoud talk about the process, that the process flows, and we think it's a bit smoother now. We learned some things from those first migrations, as I said, so we want to make sure that we have the right process in place and you have the right experience getting from the current environment that you're in to the new ETQ Reliance NXG. You'll see that the process has changed a little bit. Before, we were really pushing on individual accounts and customers to get them to migrate. We've certainly made this an opt-in process, so it's more of when you're ready to go, we'll help you get there. However, we think there's a lot of value, and we'll talk about that as we go through the presentation today in moving to ETQ Reliance NXG from your current environment. We've optimized the tools, we've streamlined the workflow, and we think the experience now for that migration is a lot simpler, and it'll be a lot quicker than it had been in the past. And you'll hear a bit more about the value, as I said, of ETQ Reliance NXG and the focus for where we are doing a lot of our innovation and new development. And now is a good time to get started. Whether you are ready to migrate tomorrow, and we actually have some customers migrating in the next few weeks, we're already starting that process, or you need to take several months to get there, now is still, excuse me, the right time to start thinking about it. It really gives you a scalable environment, the platform where we're going to see improved overall productivity based upon the user experience, and an ability to really focus in on streamlining operations so there's less involvement, less cost involved, and more predictability in the enhancements that are coming. Okay. So when we look at ETQ Reliance, we really have this proven return on quality investment. Some of you have participated with us over the past several years in looking at the ROI that you get out of the system. And we have been able to show that there are certainly enhancements across the board from productivity, from cost savings, reducing cost of quality, from driving better value in the market as well. So it is the platform now with ETQ Reliance NXG that we're going to focus our enhancements and innovation. We're still going to be enhancing the older version, the ETQ Reliance CG. It's just not going to get as much in terms of focus. You'll see some deviations in the products, and we'll talk about those as we go through the presentation today. On the most current platform for technology, and that's through our partner with AWS and the platform and the hosting, we want to make sure that we've got the latest and greatest capabilities there. Certainly provide the best availability in terms of scalability. Be able to integrate into your ecosystem. You've got an ERP system or an MES, PLM, HR, whatever that is. Make sure that integration is a smooth approach. And then where we see a lot of interesting enhancements, we've talked a bit about machine learning and AI. You'll see more of that as we go through the next several months coming from ETQ, so something to stay focused on as well. Okay. All right, I'll turn it back over, I think, to Jennifer to take us through the next section.
Thank you, David. So as David said, next we're going to go through some of the benefits of ETQ Reliance NXG, and then you can join the other customers we have who are getting ready to migrate over and take advantage of everything it has to offer. So why should you migrate now to ETQ Reliance NXG? Well, when you opt in to begin your migration journey, you will be able to reduce your total cost of ownership of your EQMS. The cloud-native technology, which powers your quality processes, provides a secure and managed environment in which your users can access anytime and anywhere with automatic updates. And speaking of automatic updates, those updates will provide you access to exclusive features, such as our new enhanced user experience and flexible, robust analytics. And finally, you will receive a special offer from our services team if you migrate before the end of 2024. So let's dive into the details on reducing your cost of ownership with ETQ Reliance. First, as we've mentioned, there's the advanced technology. It's a multi-tenant SaaS offering that delivers more power for your quality processes. Not only does it contribute to reducing your technology footprint, but it also decreases your technology risk. As David mentioned, the hosting provider is AWS, which allows you to leverage functionality such as relational database service for a cost-effective approach to operate and scale a distributed relational database in the cloud. Also, a parameter store for secure storage that includes configuration data and secrets management. There's also elastic load balancing for distributing application traffic and much more. Next, with Reliance NXG, is the ability to have your quality operations performing at their optimal levels, also helping to reduce your cost. So we have found some research from an independent market research firm that has reported that companies using cloud technology save 20% annually on their infrastructure costs. So this can be attributed to the organizations reducing their organizational technology footprint with that integration that David had mentioned, and implementing scalable structure, such as the scalability that comes with ETQ Reliance NXG. And then there is the flexible data management. Reliance NXG provides It combines quality with the advanced analytics and machine learning. So your users now have the information they need to perform informed actions from the analytic reports available within NXG. And this is helping your organization to stay aligned with your analytic strategies. Also, we have a proven migration path from Reliance CG to NXG, which will be covered in more detail in just a little bit from Mahmoud. So maybe this next part, you can relate to it a little bit. Is your organization perhaps not performing ETQ Reliance upgrades as often as they should be? Maybe there's some struggles with time, resources that are needed for this. Unfortunately, by not performing regular updates, your organization can be exposed to security risks. With Reliance NXG, all upgrades are maintained by ETQ. And as previously mentioned, with an automated release 3 times a year. The first release is to the non-production environment, and then the production environment 6 weeks later. And we've talked about security with AWS. Your environment is under constant surveillance and is kept at its highest level of security. And finally, for your users, it's important they have access to your EQMS no matter where they are or what side of the globe they are on. With Reliance NXG, this is a non-issue. They can access from any device and have consistent browser performance. There is also a mobile app to work offline with mobile features for the connected worker and remote environments that rely on smartphones or tablets. Now, I'd like to share with you some of the features that are only available in ETQ Reliance NXG. Starting with the UI, helping you to streamline operations. It provides the best user experience with our flexible, scalable EQMS. It is a responsive user experience with the anywhere, anytime access I just mentioned. And then there is the collaboration between teams, helping to improve overall productivity with a better flow of information between your coworkers, teams, business units, including your suppliers. Also, as we have described in our terms and conditions for customer support, and only for NXG, we are committed to an availability commitment of 99.9%. Now, I've mentioned NXG has 3 releases a year, and we publish those dates in advance. So with these planned releases and automatic updates, you and your team and your entire organization can plan accordingly, helping to reduce the time and the effort for implementing the software updates. And as I mentioned, the updates follow ETQ release protocols. So with the most up-to-date versions of Reliance NXG, you will benefit with closing not only security loopholes, but also performance improvements. Also, you no longer need to perform those manual checks for patches or install them. Oh, and if you are a life science customer, our cloud technology expedites validation documents and risk-based verification, helping to reduce the testing effort required for the regulated markets. And when it comes to the code freeze periods, we don't have any for your existing applications. And also, with the changes made in the current release, they roll back to previous releases. So for the flexible data management, we touched on this just a little bit. Not only do you have access to core data reporting, but also the advanced analytic integration with NXG views. This turns your standard operational reports into high-performing analytics. And there are pre-configured BI dashboard templates available in Excel and other popular BI tools. You can also easily and securely share this information with your coworkers or your suppliers without any extra administrative lift. And finally, we have the innovation that is unique to Reliance NXG. Most recently, we just had in our winter 23 release, we have available to our customers is Microsoft 365 collaboration. It supports multiple editors within a document, which is great for teams that require 2 or more editors on a Word document that is in a workflow phase. You can also create and edit Word documents through ETQ Reliance. This eliminates the need to download and edit documents outside of the Reliance interface. And there's also secure editing environment. So the content is stored within a Microsoft 365 SharePoint site, and it's secured by the Reliance Access user rules you have put in place. And coming soon in the summer 24 release is inspection management. And this will allow for the streamlined processes for inspections at any stage within the product lifecycle. So this will help with reducing the number of nonconformances, supporting the reduction of waste, recalls, or warranties. So looking ahead to the spring 25 release, it'll be here before we know it, is a sneak peek for Reliance Data Replica. It will have robust analytics and integration, and the predictive quality analytics will enable the analysis of manufacturing data, including quality control data to identify and automate the resolution of quality events. Also, there will be access to a replica of the Reliance transactional database, helping to remove the barrier to migration for customers who are using direct database access or Reliance database access with on-premise Reliance systems. And rounding this up, we are offering you access to exclusive migration services to help you migrate to Reliance NXG. Our services team is not only offering dedicated resources for personalized assistance, but also financial incentives for migrating before the end of this year. Mahmoud will go into much more detail about this during his portion of the webinar, which is now. Mahmoud, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Jennifer. And thanks to our customers for joining us today and give us the opportunity to talk about NXG migration and explain the process to smoothly migrate and move to the latest and greatest release we have today. Before I get into the details, I would like to clarify one thing that I learned from customers who opted in and thought this is going to be a huge lift and require customization conversion and layouts adjustments like what we did when we moved from Reliance 12.0 to 2017 or from Reliance 2017 to CG. Quick answer, this is totally different, and you can say it's very similar to the batch process between the CG releases, like when you batch Reliance from CG Winter to CG Summer release. It does not require converting the layouts, nor it will affect your configuration, because simply CG and NXG user interface is very similar using the new grid layouts. We do have some prerequisites that should be done, but the effort is very minimal comparing to the previous upgrades projects where we improve the tool and the process to make it more smooth and require low effort from customers and what needs to be done there. So let's go through the process and what's included there. ETQ NXG migration, it's a migration program to migrate SaaS customers with compatible configuration from CG Summer 23 to Reliance NXG. Simply as you see on the screen, we have four main things that we need to consider to get customers in the NXG migration queue to schedule and execute migrations. And I will talk about each one in details. Next, please. We'll start with the first one, where customers should be willing to migrate, as we need customers to confirm their readiness based on the feature list and details available in the user guide, which is a guide document that explains the process from A to Z and talk about the features and what needs to be done. Please note that there would be no change in license or annual pricing with the migration to NXG. Migrations are free of charge for all environments, including production during weekends. And in addition to the exclusive features and reduced cost of ownership that Jennifer talked about, we also offer exclusive migration services for customers who are going to migrate and complete migrations with us this year. So I encourage all customers to opt in and benefit from these exclusive services that will make your migrations done smoothly with very minimal effort on you. So to summarize the first one, we need customers to opt in, which is the first step in the migration journey. Second, next please. Second is the migration readiness. We need to make sure configuration is compatible with NXG to smoothly schedule and execute migrations. Quick example, if the customer is using connection profile, we need that to be converted to web services. Same if the customer is using employee training today, this should be converted to training management. So how we know the level of effort for each customer? Simply by executing a tool that we call it pre-check tool. This tool, we can run it on CG Summer 23 SQL and MySQL SaaS customers to get a status report for the configuration and what needs to be tweaked. A lot of customers that we run this tool on their environment showed that they need zero effort from the configuration side or very minimal effort to get to the queue. So if you don't use LDAP today or connection profile and don't have custom complex SQL views, nor use employee training, then you should be good to go. We just need to review what you have and confirm your eligibility and readiness. And even if your configuration needs tweaking, it's time to get that checked and work with us to update it. Note that updating the configuration is a self-service task where we added all details to the guide document explaining how each configuration can be converted with detailed knowledge base article. But if the customer would like ETQ to handle the configuration update, then please be aware that we offer a lot of exclusive services to get this done this year. That's why I encourage our customers to raise their hands to get the configuration checked so they benefit from the services we offer in case they need any extra work. So to summarize the second one, we need to address any configuration conflict, if any, before getting customers in the NXG migration queue. Next, please. Third one is the batch release. Customers should be on CG Summer 23 to get in the NXG schedule queue. If your Reliance CG environment version is not CG Summer 23, ETQ will take care of patching your system part of the NXG prep work. If your Reliance is 2016 or 2017, then an upgrade project is required here to get you to CG Summer 23 before we migrate you to NXG. Last but not least is the deployment model. Customers should be, next please. Customers should be on ETQ SaaS deployment model to be eligible for NXG migrations. If, for example, your deployment model is not SaaS, let's say it's on-prem or hosted, ETQ will work with you to explain what's needed to shift you to SaaS and how that works. Next. So a quick summary, opt-in and let's get everything checked for you. To clarify, you don't need to wait until you are on CG Summer 23 to opt-in, or until you are SaaS, or until you get your configuration updated. All what we need from our customers is to opt-in and we will get everything checked for them. We will work with you closely to discuss next step. We'll check your account and see what's needed there. If you need a patch, then we will schedule and handle the CG Summer 23 patch for you. We will run the pre-check tool on your environments to see if you have any configuration conflict that should be updated. And we will work with you closely on that until we complete all prerequisites and get you in the migration pool. Next. Today, we have real examples of these 5 cohorts in our queues, whether in the opt-in queue where customers raise their hands and we start reviewing and discussing next steps with them, or work in progress queue where we agreed on next steps, then scheduled and started the tasks to get prep work done, or ready to migrate queue where we completed all prep work and got these customers in the ready to migrate stage, where next step for them is to schedule the NXG migration. You don't need to worry about these queues. This is internal, but I want to give you an idea about the phases that we go through to migrate our customers. So going back to these examples you see on this slide, we do have a lot of customers like the first one, customer A, where they are interested with the migration, they opted in, they are on CG Summer 23 release today, and on ETQ SaaS deployment. We also ran the pre-check tool on their system and confirmed no configuration update is required. So those customers were just added to the queue, and currently we work on dry runs for them to get them migrated in Q2. So you could be like customer A, and I know a lot of customers in this meeting today like customer A, but the only missing thing is for them to opt in. That's why we would like our customers to opt in, so we can check what's needed and work with them closely to get them in the ready to migrate queue, then eventually migrate it to NXG. Same like customer B, C, D, and E, you maybe need to tweak one configuration or more, or maybe need a patch to get to CG Summer 23, or need to switch to SaaS, or maybe you need all of them. We are happy to get this reviewed together and plan for each single one with you. Next. Thank you. This is an example of a customer that needs configuration update, also need a patch and shift to SaaS. So this customer, like customer E cohort in the previous slide. So for this customer to get in the NXG migration queue and get their system migrated to NXG, they need to work with us to tweak their configuration, batch them to CG Summer 23, and also shift them to ETQ SaaS. As you see on the screen, we first scheduled their configuration update to be done in June. In the meantime, we agreed on the shift to SaaS project that will start around end of June and complete that in August, while we patch them to CG Summer 23, part of the shift to SaaS project itself. So by end of August, they will be SaaS on ETQ SaaS deployment and on CG Summer 23, where we can then run the pre-check tool on their environment to confirm whether they have any other conflict other than the ones that we already fixed in June, and see what they have there. If no conflict, then they should be ready to go and schedule the actual migration with them. This may give you an idea about how things will get arranged, but please note that you have our full support and commitment to get you to the latest and greatest release we have today, so you and your business users can benefit from the new technologies and functionalities we have there. After a couple of slides, I will talk about the execution process and what we are doing for the migrations that happened this year to make sure they are successful. But for now, let's talk about the exclusive migration services. For migrations that happened this year, means started and completed this year, we offer white glove services. Next, please, Jennifer. We offer white glove services where we have dedicated resources who will work with you to explain and help in making your configuration compatible and get your environments in sync. Depends on what's needed on each account. In addition, we will have a team who will address any issue reported by you after the non-production and production migrations at no charge. We also have flexible migration schedule. Migrations can happen anytime you want this year. So if you opt in now, we will review what you have and work with you closely to get your environments ready to migrate. And then we will work with you on the environment to be migrated. Customers have the flexibility of scheduling their migrations for this year. Again, if you opt in and we completed all of your prep work, that does not mean we will migrate your environment now. You have the flexibility this year to let us know when you would like to be migrated, like which month in Q3 or Q4 this year, and we will get you scheduled based on that. We also have services incentives. We offer premium services offering based on each account, system status, and need, which we discuss case by case. Last but not least is the discounted rate. Early bird specials on migrations billable services like employee training to training management application migration for customers who require migrating the data from the old employee training to the new training management, or for converting connection profile to web services. If you would like ETQ to handle that, then we offer early bird discounts to motivate customers to move forward. Those migration services are only available this year. So I encourage every customer to opt in and benefit from these services to get you migrated to NXG, where there will be no more upgrades after that. So new features, bug fixes, and enhancements will be pushed to your NXG environment in a well-known shared schedule that you will be aware of ahead of time. So you can manage your activities around that and always be up to date with the security, new technologies, and features we have in NXG. Next, please. Let's say you liked what you heard so far and now you are interested. What's next? The process is simple. Please log into our canvas and create a service case of type NXG migration service and mention your interest in the NXG migration. This will go to our migration team queue, who will review your deployment and confirm your eligibility and readiness. Then we will meet you to discuss and explain what needs to be done to get you in the queue. Some may need zero effort, others may need some tweaking or need a patch or more. It depends on each account, but we are here to work with you closely and get things arranged. Let's assume we agreed on what needs to be done and completed all prep work and added you to the queue. After that, which is step number 4 you see on the slide, we will perform a dry run on a copy of your system just to test the migration on a copy of your actual environment before we even schedule your migration project. Simply, we need to make sure everything is going to work smoothly before we get your actual environments scheduled and then migrated. So this is an extra step we perform for the migrations that happen this year to ensure everything is going to work as expected. Once the dry run is successful, we will go ahead and schedule the actual migration and notify you about the dates for non-production and production environments. Next, please. Here is another view that explains how the execution process looks like. NXG pool includes the customers that we completed all prep work for them and ready to migrate to NXG. Hope all of our customers in this webinar will be on that pool soon. We will then perform a dry run on these customers, which we offer for the migrations that happened this year. If the dry run was successful, then we go ahead and schedule the migrations for non-production and production environments and notify the customers with the dates. Remember, we schedule that based on what was agreed with the customer. Like if you requested Q3 or Q4 or any specific month this year, then we consider that in our scheduling. We start with the non-production migration for dev and test environments, if, for example, you have 2 environments, and that is done in 1 to 2 days max. And then we notify you to test and verify. If you run into any issue, you can open a support case to work with the dedicated team who will address that for you. You have 6 weeks for testing and validating the non-production environments. Then we will go ahead and migrate your production environment, which will be done during a weekend, and then you go live with NXG. That's all for me today, and I hope now you have a good idea about the migration process and how we handle the migrations. Look forward to working with all of you to get you to the latest release we have to benefit from the new technologies and features available for you and your business users. Thank you all. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Mahmoud, for taking us through the migration path from ETQ Reliance CG to NXG. It was really detailed, and if anyone has any questions, we're going to open up the Q&A in just a couple of minutes. But first, I want to show you how to open an NXG migration service request on Community that Mahmoud mentioned. It's fairly simple. Go to Community, click on Support, and then click on the NXG Migration Services icon and complete the form with your information. You can then join the other customers who are currently getting into the queue and getting ready to take advantage of Reliance NXG. And we have a few resources available to help you along the way. There is a migration tool that we've talked about. It's been validated and it's available to help streamline the process. For more information, contact your customer account executive or customer success manager. And you can also open the NXG migration service request I just showed you. We also have a guide available in Community. So if you're more of a DIYer, it outlines the steps needed before and after the migration, including some things you need to take into account before your migration journey. And finally, if you'd like some more information on what is on our roadmap for summer and winter 24, the roadmaps are available. Just reach out to your customer account executive or customer success manager, and they'll be more than happy to walk you through everything we have on the roadmap. All right, thanks for being patient with me. And now we're going to jump into the Q&A. So just one moment here while I pop open my screen. All right, looks like we have a few questions here. So this one's from Catherine. For upgrades, how does this affect life science customers who need to validate?
So let me jump in there. We have a number of life science customers already on Reliance NXG, ETQ Reliance NXG, who validate for every release that we put out. The way we've set it up, and we've looked at some best practices in the QMS industry and other vendors as well, we give you a 6-week window between the non-production and the production upgrades for those environments, every single release. So you'll see, like we talked about summer and NXG summer 23, then we have NXG winter 24. Each of those releases, non-production, 6 weeks later production. The volume of changes that go into a release are small enough that we've had no issues with customers doing the validation during that window. This is not like in previous releases, and really when we got back to 2017 and in the 2019 and 2020 days, where we had these very large releases that took a lot of effort to validate. We've slimmed down the amount of effort that's typically required for each release.
Great, thank you, David. So this one's cutting off a little bit for me, so hopefully I can see all of it. We are currently utilizing CG version on AWS GovCloud. Can't really see the rest of the question. Oh, here we go. Updates to the system are currently managed through ETQ. Since we are already utilizing a hosted service, will migration to NXG be automatic, or will we need to request migration to the new platform?
I can take this one.
Okay.
So today, yes, you are on CG, and we reach out to our customers to patch them. But with the NXG migration, it's an opt-in process. You have to opt in first, so we can check what you have and work with you to get you in the ready to migrate queue. Now, one note is migrations for GovCloud customers is not yet ready available, but we are working on it. It will be down the road. That does not mean you can't start the journey. You can reach out to us. We can review what you have. We can get you on CG Summer 23, review the configuration, get everything done, and add you to the queue. Once our tool supports GovCloud, then you will be scheduled to go with the NXG migration.
Thank you, Mahmoud. So Mary is asking if the designer feature has been added back to NXG, or is it not available yet?
So designer is on NXG, has always been on ETQ Reliance NXG, just in the non-production environment. So the typical way we see with NXG customers doing updates to their system is they go into their development system, they do the changes there, and then promote either to their test system typically, and then to the production. We do not have designer available in the production environment, so that's a little different than in previous, but it's a safer way to make changes to the environment.
All right, thanks for clarifying, David. We have a question from Ginny. Are these migrations available to CG customers who are still on-prem?
Now, the deployment model for NXG migration is only for SaaS customers. So for on-prem customers, we work with them on shift to SaaS, part of the prep work to move them to ETQ SaaS, get the configuration done, and patch them to CG Summer 23. So Jenny, if you would like, we can meet to discuss the shift to SaaS to move you to our cloud and get you on CG Summer 23, where we can run the pre-check and see if any other work is needed.
Thank you, Mahmoud. And so it looks like we have another question in regards to GovCloud. When is NXG going to be available for AWS GovCloud? Alfonso was asking about this one.
So Alfonso, we can get back to you about the exact date, but it's on our roadmap. We're working on it. We handle that on phases. So the first phase is for MySQL customers on our public cloud, and we already started the execution for some customers there. So we handle the migration in phases, and GovCloud for sure is one of the phases that we will have soon.
Thank you. Frederick is wondering, what if we are on CG Winter 23?
It's if you are on CG Winter 23 and you are on our ETQ SaaS, then our team will reach out to you to patch you to CG Summer 23. It's one of the 3 things that we need to get done. You have to patch to CG Summer 23. So if you don't have a patch case opened with us today, please reach out to us and we will get you patched to CG Summer 23 and get all other things checked so we can add you to the queue.
Perfect. So Keith is asking, we are an ETQ SaaS customer using LDAP to complement Okta. How is this done in NXG?
And before you answer that, Mahmoud, I also want to jump in. Keith also asked about Microsoft SQL Server and when that would be available.
Yes, so as mentioned, we handle the migration in phases. First phase is MySQL for public cloud. GovCloud and also SQL will be available. Mainly the SQL will be available by end of this year. We handle it in phases. So you will hear back from us whenever it's out. Our marketing team will notify our customers. So we are working on that. But that again does not mean if you are on-prem, if you have SQL, if you have Oracle, that does not mean we can get everything done, everything else done. We can patch you to CG Summer 23, even if you are on-prem, and even if you have SQL or Oracle. We can check your configuration and update that. So we can get most of the prep work done. So, and once the tool that support your account or your system is available, then we can schedule the migration for you. So by then, you don't need to have any extra thing. And you can benefit from the migration services that we offer for this year. That's why we encourage our customers to opt in regardless of what they have. Opt in and we will work with you closely to plan for next step.
Perfect. So Mark is asking for a clarification question. On-prem needs to migrate to SaaS first, then upgrade to NXG. So that's his first question. And then his second question is, does current CG SaaS have the ability to pull data to other systems that use Reliance data?
So to answer the first part, on-prem needs to migrate to SaaS. Yes, so it's one of the things that we need to do to make it on SaaS deployment is to move your environment from on-prem to ETQ SaaS, and then get the other work done like configuration and the patch, so we can get you in the NXG queue. Now for integrations, it's similar to all other releases. We have the integration available to pull out the data from Reliance. You will have QDL, we will have the tooling available there for you. So if you would like, we can have a meeting with you, with your sales rep to explain what options we have there.
Perfect. Here's a question from Scott. We are hosted and currently going through a patch cycle to Winter 24. Can we migrate to NXG?
Now, short answer, Winter 24, no. It will be supported. We are working on it to be supported next year. So if your batch already started, then you need to wait until the new migration tool is out. If that was not started, meaning that you just requested it, because our team, our patch team, whenever a customer requests Winter 24, we tell them that this is not supported with the NXG. So if we haven't started the batch process yet for you, you can request to stop it so we can get you in the NXG migration queue for this year.
Okay, great, thank you. And I think we're coming up on time, but I think we have one question here I'd like to get from Joanna. We don't have implemented employee training module. Do you recommend implementing training module after moving to NXG? And they are in CG Winter 23 version 2023A.
Now, I recommend batching you to CG Summer 23 first. And then if your employee training or training management is not implemented and you haven't started using that yet, let's migrate you to NXG and then start the implementation there. Because it's not used anyway. So move to NXG, you have the new features and flexibility in NXG, so you can benefit from that, you and your business users.
Perfect.
Answer the other question from Keith about LDAP. So for LDAP is not supported with NXG, but we have to convert you part of the prep work to SSO. So if you check the guide document, it explains what needs to be done there, but we are happy to work with you to convert that if needed. Again, for all customers, if you don't know in the next step, please opt in, open the case with us. We will work with you and explain everything you need to get you to the queue.
Perfect. I mean, these are really great questions. Thank you, Mark.
And Jennifer, got
Yes.
one more that I think we skipped over from Dana in terms of the timeline where NXG would be required. And I want to address that really briefly, is that there's no mandatory requirement that you move to NXG. We are going to continue to support CG for the foreseeable future. That's why this is an opt-in process, that it is about when you're ready to go. And we want to work with you, and we definitely want to. We think there's a lot of value in moving to Reliance NXG and in the future, but at this point, we have no plans to end game or end of life ETQ Reliance CG. So it's really at your pace that we want to work with you to make that migration.
Perfect. Thank you, David, for catching that. Sorry, Dana, that I missed your question. Very good question. All right, so if we didn't get all your questions, we will follow up with you with answers. And we hope that you are coming away with this webinar with the information that you need to opt in to Reliance NXG. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your customer success manager. And thank you again so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.